Good day and welcome to our preview of our racing at GREYVILLE 25th July. This preview will be for races 1, 2, 3 and 10. The middle races, the pick six races, are only available through a subscription and people who pay the subscription. If you want to take a prescription for July Day, it's 150 Rand, and you can WhatsApp me on 083 585 5133. I repeat, 083 585 5133. You will then get access to all the July, uh, um, the other 6 videos as well, and my selections. Also note that we're running a kitty for the July where you can add in. We all add in 100 Rand, or if you want to put in 200 Rand or 300 Rand, doesn't matter. If we do win, you'll win pro rata, but you need to pay in units of 100 Rand. So if you are interested in joining that kitty, you can also WhatsApp me on the same number, 083 585 5133. So let's dug in, and we start up with race number 1, which is on the Polo, which is Pinnacle Stakes over 1100 meters. Let's look at the betting first. The betting is Chimchini run 2-1, Sing for Rava 4-1, Captain Tata 7-1, Bawana 15-2, Sunset Ice 12-1, Van Halen 12-1, Shantyman 14-1, 16-1, Donner Weer 20-1, Speed Point, and 35-1, and longer the rest. So let's look at the form. Now, number 1 is Speed Point. Now, Speed Point is a horse that always runs his best. Sorry, just sometimes a problem scrolling. He is getting -2.5. It's drawn 1. It is a run against the best of the country in the country, and definitely this horse is capable of winning this race. Let's just have a look here. I just want to show you the average merit rating of the race. The average merit rating of this race is Class B, 110. For you guys who don't know, that's the average merit rating of the horses in this race, and then you compare that with the average merit rating if you have this column here that this horse has run against. I just want to confirm again. The average merit rating is 110. So if you now look at Speed Point, you'll see that he is running that divisions. He's also running this class 4 rounds, 1 win, 1 second, and a fourth. So he's been running in this class, and he's getting -2.5. Definitely a horse that can win. It hasn't run under Polly before, but I'm sure it wouldn't be a problem. Then we look at number 2, Sing for Rafa, a filly, a Portalo filly with a big reputation. She's won actually 5 races, but on 1 race here behind Nikki New, she was disqualified. Now, last time out against Celtic Sea, this horse ran 0.10 behind Celtic Sea. Now, when you go and have a look at Celtic Sea's merit rating, Celtic Sea is currently rated at 126. This filly is rated at 119. So that's 7 points lower. Now, if you have a look at Chimchimri Run is also 126. If you have a look there, you'll see it's 126. Chimchimri Run, and he's carrying 62. So this filly is carrying 61. So there's 1 kilogram. So that brings it close to each other. Just look at the base weighted Chimchimri Run, Van Halen, Sing for Rafa, Speed Point, Sunset Eyes. So let us look at some other horses. So, but anyway, to come, sorry, before I forget. So I do rate Sing for Rafa. This is my first choice, drawn 2, but it will be very close between her and Chimchimri Run. You also have a good chance. Then there is other horses, Captain Tatters, but he's not well weighted in this race. Will have his work cut out to win here. Donner Weer is also a nice gelding. He runs some decent races, but I think in this race he'll be a little bit outclassed today. Bawana is also a very good horse, has won some nice races, won last time out. Marcus on board, drawn 5. I think Bawana can be there when the pictures are taken. Shantyman, He likes this course. He's run 8 times, 3 wins, 2 seconds, a third and a fourth. Grant van Niekerk riding, definitely a horse not to exclude. Can definitely win. Has run in this class, but hasn't won in this class yet, but can be a danger. Include into your play. Then number 7 is Van Halen. This horse has won a Grade 1, is a very well performed horse. Last time out on July Day, he won this race. They won the GENIE, beating Mythical Bolt. Will not have a problem with the distance. Is coming off a rest, but has performed well after rest. You see, after rest, you have 4 rest, and he's won 3 times after the race. So this horse always runs well after race. Craig Zaki riding, drawn 8 is ideal for this around the bend, and definitely also in with a huge chance. Has been running close to horses like Mardi Gras, Mr. Flood, and I do believe it can actually pay to take a Zacta, the 2 stablemates, number 2 and number 8. Chimchini run also one of the class horses of the race. Hasn't run on a poly before, but I don't think it will be a problem to run on the poly. Also well bred. Has also run against the best in the country, and will definitely be involved in the finish. Then there are other horses, but I think they're all running for minor money. So now let's move on to race number 2. And race number 2 is the KwaZulu-Natal yearling sale, million non-black. First prize 625,000. I think this must be one of the biggest prizes except for the July on the day. So let's have a look at the betting. Here we have number 2, number 14, Venishi 16 to 10, Sweet Sensation 13 to 2, Stella Act 10 to 1, Winter Stories 10 to 1, Native Tongue 11 to 1, Dandalo 12 to 1, Light That Loose 12 to 1, Walls of the Bromnik 14, Crimson King 15, and 25 to 1, and longer the others. So let's have a look at this race. Number 14 is the favorite. I'll look at it now. I'll just quickly run from the top here. Yeah, these number 1 and number 1 is as what one run, one win over 1,200 meters on the poly. This horse can be anything. That's the problem with 2-year-olds. You never know how they will improve. Number 2, Stella Act, has not run badly. Has been there and thereabouts. Ran third behind Caroluma in a future. Last time and before that ran behind Venishi. The 1,300 can shoot. Will be running on at the end. So keep an eye out on number 2. Walls of the Brownik, I do think there are stronger horses in this race. Dandalo is the second favorite. It has won 1 race, and yeah, it came from behind 23.4 reasonably, but difficult again to access as it only had 1 run, as most of the horses has won. Color My Fate also a one-time winner, and was beaten by Gold Season. Gold Season is running in the future today. Then here's Storyland, a global view. I really think that this global views run well, but it's coming from PE. But I do think this horse is not without a prayer, and maybe a good one to include into your quartets. Then Crimson King also won his maiden last time out, after improving from a first race. Definitely a horse to keep an eye out. Then the horse that I like a lot is number 8, Winter Stories, Muzieni, drawn 8. This horse has won a few good races. Last time ran in the future the nursery. And I do think that the longer distance, the 1,300, will suit this horse better. And I'm sure this horse will be involved in the finish when the pictures are taken. Then we moved, I want to move down to number 10, a Native Tongue. It's Justin Smith, Richard Fourie. This horse won over the 1,200 meters on a poly and finished well. And I do think that this horse will be a contender at come end of the race. A horse that I want to look at is number 12, Sweet Sensation. Another is Cornish Peace Inmate. This horse took a little bit, won his third race, but it ran as a maiden in the nursery, and it finished fourth, 1.5 lengths behind Springs of Carmel. And Springs of Carmel is like a 4-time winner. And then came out over 1,000 meters with Pierce Stradom and absolutely demolished them, one start to finish 5.25 lengths. And I think also one of the bigger contenders in this race. Then we move on to race number 14. Number 14 has now won 3 races in a row, going 1,300 for the first time. The problem being 14, and Pierce Stradom did point out that they're jumping right on the bend, and the 14 is definitely going to be a problem that they will have to overcome. So that brings us then to the end of race 2. So now let's move on to race number 3, which is the Campagno 2,200. It's actually, in the old days, it used to be the July Consolation. So let's have a look at the betting. The betting on race 3 is as follows. Number 2, Sovereign Spirit 7-2, Trustful 9-2, Roadhouter 7-1, Pack Leader 7-1, Cat Daddy 8-1, Western Fort 11-1, Magnificent 7 13-1, Tilbury Fort 20-1, Leopold 20-1, Dawn Assault 20-1, Majestic Mozart 28-1, and White Lighting 50-1. So let's look at this race. It's also a very open race. There's a lot of horses with chances. Herodotus, drawn 1. I've run against the best in the country, ran close to Bulgarian. Bulgarian is the favorite for the July. They had run against Bulgarian. So he's down in class 7-1, not a bad price. Can find the winner's box, but haven't won a race for 634 days. A 2-time winner, but has run against the best. Ayatab, one world Vardy, Dharma, now probably running against a bit strong, not as strong as those horses, so can be involved in a finish. Sovereign Sprint, Grand Finicat, drawn 2. This horse has also only won 2 races out of 10. Has been there and thereabouts, but I would think if I have to choose between number 1 and number 2, I think number 1 would be a better choice for me than number 2, because number 2, Sovereign Spin, hasn't shown a lot, and I don't think this horse has run against the class that number 1 has run against. Then you get Cat Daddy. Cat Daddy is also a very consistent horse. 17 runs, 4 wins. Sorry about this. I really apologize. And Jason Gates right from free. And this is one of my fancies for the race. I do feel that this horse will be involved when the pictures are taken. I think the horse is very consistent, and it's coming down a little bit in distance. But I do feel that this horse has the ability. It's an ideal world out of a black Benelux mare, so include in your bets. Then here we have Tilbury Fort. I feel that Tilbury Fort today, with Lyle Hewitson on board, Lyle has won 4 times and 2 places out of 9 on this horse, and I'm really looking forward for this horse over this distance. Last year it ran in July, only 5.3 lengths behind Do It Again. And I just feel if this horse, sometimes he's got a problem to jump, but this horse has won some huge races and definitely not to be left out. And I do think Tilbury Ford can be a contender at the finish of this race when the pictures are taken. Number 5 is Western Fort. Not for me. This horse has done absolutely nothing. It is definitely for me. I'm surprised to find it in this race, but I mean, good luck to the owners and to Warren Kennedy. But I feel in this race there are horses that are stronger. Leopold won also one of those sales races, I think. I was shorter. I don't think this horse can do this distance, so not for me today. White Lightning has a Paul Lafferty inmate and has run against some solid races against lesser opposition, and I think there are horses that were got better chances. Then we get to 8 Dawn Assault. Um, I really like this Dawn Assault. Um, this horse is 11-time winner. You're not 11-time winner for nothing. Has run against the best in the country. Has not run bad. Did had another pipe opener yesterday at Terfontein. Finished, I think, midfield. But I did feel, because I was even thinking when I saw this card, and then I thought, then maybe if Dawn Assault can just have one more run, and I think the run that he's had on Thursday will bring him on. And I've seen Craig Jackie has ridden the horse twice for a win and a fourth. And I do feel that at 20-1, this is a huge outsider and a nice each way bet that you can take Dawn Assault. Lord Silviero. Um, yeah, this horse is shown in different forms. Hasn't done much in his life. Only 3 wins, and I would think only maybe a small place chance, but really not for me today. Perfect Tigress, Michael Azzi, Muzieni. This horse is really, I think, will be outclassed in this race. Hasn't done much. I think. Uh, um, has run against Queen Supreme and Ronnie's Candy without bothering them. Ran behind Divine Odyssey. That was maybe one of her better runs, but I do think in this race today she'll be a little bit outclassed. Then we get to number 11, Magnificent Seven. Magnificent Seven put together 4 races in a row in 2018, and then something happened, and it had a long race. Came back in January last year, beat Dynasty's Blossom, and then in May last year ran second to Eyes Wide Open in the GREYVILLE 1900. Came back and needed a run. This run could have brought him on, and I do feel that Magnificent Seven can probably be involved in the finish. But I do think it might be a short a run or two. Then we go to Pack Leader. Pack Leader is Glenn Cotson. The Milo drawn 12. That's not the best draw. But Pack Leader also has run against some good company. And I do feel that Pack Leader can definitely be involved in the finish in this race. Has run some decent races in the past. So definitely a horse to include in your calculations. Then we get to Trustful. Now, Trustful is in the consolation July, but as far as I know, there's no scratching yet. But she's run some decent races, ran Freelings behind Bulgarian, he did. So that will give him in with a chance. Unfortunately, the draw 13 it might hinder his chances of pulling off this race. Then we get to number 14, Majestic Mozart. Majestic Mozart has run some fair races in the Cape, but it's not really bothered the top horses. And drawn 14, I think will battle to win from there. So that is then race 3. So let me scroll down to race number 10, and we have a look at race number 10 for you. Okay, here we are at race number 10. Race number 10 is the Tequila handicap listed over 1,000 meters, 1,600 meters. It's on the turf. Let's look at the betting. Here the betting is Crown Towers 5-2, Orpheus 7-1, You Do Magic 7-1, Princess Lure 8-1, Infamous Fox 12-1 from 10-1s, 12-1 Tree Tumbo, Gigi's Dynasty 12-1, Born to Perform 13-1, Liberty All 14, 16 Cabo de Cruz, and 20-1 and longer. So this race is run on turf. So here we have Orpheus. Orpheus got famous by putting off a big win on the Poly. He went Links clear in that race. Marco van Rensburg was riding, went clear and won by 6.75. Now running plus half kilogram, but drawn one. Always a dangerous front runner, but I think on the turf it will be a different story. And I think if he's going to do the same tactics, he's going to run out of steam at the end. Number 2, Infamous Fox. And now this is my selection for this race to win. This gelding is currently 12-1 in a betting, drawn 2. This horse has got course and distance 2 from 2. And if I'm not mistaken, last year actually won this race as well, beating Silver Maple. Yeah, came off a rest and a long race and then ran behind Awam or Zilzal, not in this class. And it would have been nice if this horse has maybe had one other run, but I'm sure that Ms. Dawson will have this horse in peak condition. Warren Kennedy ride, and for me, that is a nice each way outsider that you can back. Then number 3, Sniper Shot. It's always one of those horses that can surprise, but they haven't won over this distance, but there's always been there and thereabouts. A nice long shot. That Crown Towers is a favorite, Richard for re-riding, drawn 4, and has won once over this distance. There last year it ran behind Infamous Fox. It got 10 kilograms from Infamous Fox. It's now carrying 57. Let me just quickly see what Infamous Fox is carrying. Famous car is carrying 61, and that horse is carrying 57. So that is 3.5 kilograms. Now, based on that, if Infamous Fox is fit, Crown Towers cannot beat Infamous Fox, because Infamous Fox was carrying 62 last year, this time. This was carrying 52.5. It's 9.5 kilograms. And now it's only 3.5 kilograms difference. Based on that, Crown Towers can't finish in front of Infamous Fox. But then again, Crown Towers has also had one run, ran well behind Bulgarian, as did Infamous Fox. So if Infamous Fox is fit, will definitely finish in front of Crown Towers. Then Free Tumbo is a 3-year-old. I think this horse will improve. It's very well bred. 3 Tumbo, well Witsja. Lyle Hewitson riding. Hasn't beaten a lot, but has been there and thereabouts. Yeah, behind Got the Green Light last time out in the daily news. It was never in the hunt. So watch for improvement from that. Then another horse that I want to look at is Price's Ruler. Is also a nice horse, also there and thereabouts. Number 10, Born to Perform. The problem with number 10, Born to Perform, he always loses at the start and then he has to make up. But this horse is like 40 runs, 6 wins. He didn't win 6 races to be a donkey. And he's got a big rivalry with Gigi's Dynasty. They keep on running against each other, keep on beating each other. And I do think that Born to Perform will be there when the pictures are taken. You can look at it: distance 7 runs, 4 wins, 2 places; course and distance 3 runs, 2 wins and a second. Muzi GENIE riding, Born to Perform, will definitely be a contender in this race. Also by Savannah out of Dancer's Daughter. Dancer's Daughter, a previous winner of this race, and it would be nice if one of her sons can win on the July day. Another horse that I want to look at is number Gigi's Dynasty. It's drawn 11. But again, as you can see, Born to Perform, Trishful has beaten Trishful. Trishful is now in the July as a reserve manager and do have a chance. Has beaten Twist of Fate. And I mean, you look at this course, distance 6 times, 4 win, 1 second and a third. Gigi's Dynasty will be there when the pictures are taken, and I'm saying that Gigi's Dynasty and Born to Perform will be in Famous Fox biggest dangers. Maybe you should take an exacta box in Famous Fox, GG Dynasty, and Born to Perform boxed. So that is then our preview for the 10th race. I really do hope you make money on the July day and you go home smiling and taking the wife and the kids out to a restaurant. You must just make sure you're home by 9 o'clock. Wear your masks, and as I always say, break a leg.